So how do we strip it farther down the street? But it was well done. You know, the other thing too, just 2 minutes of, you know, over the last 10 years, we've spent a tremendous amount of time on downtown. You know, with a lot of focus on the downtown. It has really got to a point where I think that, you know, we've done many of the things, and there are things left to be done. There's parking issues that have to be worked on. You know, there's always that prospect of a hotel on the horizon, and how do we make that happen? And hopefully we'll be able to make the hotel happen. And I know that because we're already in the process of looking at properties for expansion of the parking and taking care of that issue. And we have the funding to be able to get rid of that issue now with the meters, and not having to tax the resident for those issues, that it will be paid for by those that use it. This upcoming year and after, I think that it's really time to focus back on what Norman Electric said to me when I became mayor. Norman said to me in the back room in 1986, not before he became mayor, before he swore me as a trustee, back in 1986, he said, as goes the downtown, goes the residential, and as goes the residential, goes the downtown. Lest you forget, either one of them, both of them will fail. And so I think we're really going to take a hard look at those things that we need to do in the community over the next 2 years. Paving the streets is huge. And we've bonded $1 million, I think it's $1.2 million, isn't it, Ron?
Yes.
$1.2 million for the streets that will happen over the next year or two. We have an opportunity for some funding for parks, which you'll hear tonight from Bill, is going out for an RFP for a master plan for all of our parks. Nothing's been done in the parks since, I don't know, 1953 is when the softball field was put in the mid-70s is when we did Ryder Avenue Park.
Clemente Field was 81, right?
What's that?
Clemente Field, 81, man.
Clemente Field was 81, so it's, except for some, you know, couple playgrounds that we were able to get some funding for and put in, and a little, and the band shell replacement. The parks themselves, you know, we redid the pool, but there's more to it than that, and I think that we need to take care of it. I'd like to see a boardwalk along the dock there, along the bulkheading, you know, some lighting, some additional lighting, a real walking path that's measured out so people can go down and either walk the dogs or walk themselves. You know, so this year is going to be about that. This 2 years is really beginning to come up with a real dynamic plan for all of our parks, including Belzac, which is up off Lakeland Avenue and Father Torah Park or Central. And how do we improve these? How do we make them better? How do we make them so young families want to come to Patchogue and want to buy the homes that us gray-haired guys are going to eventually want to sell? You know, because it is about that. And I've always said is I'd never want to live in a community that didn't have a Little League. How do we take care of those fields so we can grow those programs? You know, one of the things that you heard Joe talk about all the time, from storefront to shorefront, you know, sidewalks. You know, we have the music festival. What does everybody do? They walk down the middle of Ryder Avenue. People get off the ferry, and when they get down into Cedar Avenue, they got to walk the street because there's no sidewalks. So we're going to take a look at a lot of those things, a lot of those kind of things. Plus, there are a series of other things that are on the board to get done. But we're going to transition ourselves to being Main Street centric and focused to residential focus, going back to where those of us that grew up in the village grew up, and those who moved into the village where they live. You know, somebody once said to me, when you buy a house, before you look inside the house, stand out on the front steps and take a look across the street and down a block. This is where you want to be. Because you'll look out the windows more than you can look inside the windows. So we want it so that all the neighborhoods and all the streets, people stand on their front steps and they like what they see across the street. And this means dealing with building and housing and stepping ourselves up there. If we need to hire, we need to hire. But we have some opportunities that are going to come up on the fiscal side of it that will allow us to do some things to really kind of improve the residential. But that's just a little look as we look down the road. So we'll be looking for some help, for some ideas. We'll be talking within the community, we'll be talking amongst the board. But as it goes along, you'll hear more and more about it. But the big thing is being to take care of those that live here, those that pay the taxes, those that drive out on the street and find a pothole. Hopefully we can get rid of most of them. Patchogue Fire Board.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there somebody here from Doc Spot?